All right, folks, I'm going to just let you hear this straight out of the gate. For the first time in American history, we've got a foreign military with its own dedicated facility planted right here on the U.S. soil. Not talking Britain. Hell, we're not talking Israelis. Not NATO. But Qatar, that's right, the tiny Gulf kingdom better known for funding extremists, kissing up to Iran, and buying World Cup referees than defending freedom. And now their fighter pilots and ground crews are going to be training out of Idaho, Mountain Home Air Force Base to be exact, okay? This is not an exchange program that we've seen before. This is a permanent footprint. And while the Pentagon tries to spin this as a partnership, we need to break it down, what's really going on here, because the story doesn't end with jets in the desert. It connects all the way back to luxury jets, golf resorts, and executive orders, and promises that don't add up for the average American like you and me. So buckle up. This is when we're going down the rabbit hole, okay? Let me first start off talking about Mountain Home Air Force Base. Now, this is the first foot in the door, okay? Qatar now will have a dedicated facility at Mountain Home Air Force Base. Not just training alongside Americans, but an actual foreign branded operation in a U.S. base. This is unprecedented outside of NATO allies, okay? And sure, some people are going to say, man, the U.S. has hosted foreign officers here before. Germans train at Holloman. Singapore has jets here too, but that's normal. Qatar, that's not an ally. That's a transactional relationship. They pay, they play, and we just give them the keys to the house of one of our own bases, okay? Check it out. Pete Hegseth announced it today.
Trump could have achieved the peace that what we believe will be a lasting peace in Gaza, and Qatar played a substantial role from the beginning, working with our folks to ensure that came about. So I want to thank you for that historic peace. We look forward to joining the president as that gets, it's already been delivered, but as that's formally signed as well. And I'm also proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance our combined training, increase lethality, interoperability. It's just another example of our partnership. And I hope you know, Your Excellency, that you can count.
I don't know if you could tell if you can read Pete Hegseth's body language, but he's like not his usual confident self, okay? He is not seeming like a proud moment. He's looking down the entire time. Very unusual for Pete Hegseth. So to me, I don't think he's really even on board with this, to be honest, you know? And so I'm going to give my theories here. And you know, why Qatar? Because they're buying influence. They've got all money to burn, and America's leadership open for business, okay? Now, if you go back and recall this, remember when Qatar gave Trump a luxury Boeing 747, right, a few months back? Makes you think. This is not an Air Force One replacement, okay? For Trump to use his Air Force One, but it's not Air Force One replacement. It's more like a flying palace. Now, how does this look to everyday Americans like you and I? When's the last time you ever been gifted a $300 million jet? And that's not a friendship gesture. That's a tribute. That's influence buying. And truthfully, it's constitutionally suspect because there's clauses in the Constitution that says U.S. leaders aren't supposed to accept foreign gifts. But apparently, loopholes are like landing strips when you've got enough oil money, right? But I don't believe that was generosity. It was a payment up front for something bigger. As we see, plant your flag here in U.S. soil, right? Now, this is where it gets darker. Let's keep going down the rabbit hole. The golf resort deal. Trump org signed a $5+ billion Qatari project, luxury villas, golf courses, beachfront. Is this it here? Yep. Beachfront resorts. Qatari. That probably wasn't related though, Probably wasn't related. Couldn't be. No way. That's not America first, folks. That is Trump first. Okay. And it hurts me to even say that. When you got foreign regime financing your Gulf empire, don't tell me it doesn't color your foreign policy decisions. I'm sorry, it does. And what a coincidence, right as the contracts are inked, Qatar suddenly gets unprecedented access on American soil, right? Now, listen. Maybe this is a famous 4D chess that everybody keeps talking about. Maybe one of you guys can explain to me what move I'm missing here, because I'm having a hard time grabbing it. I could be completely wrong. This could be the best thing since your mama's homemade apple pie. I don't know. I don't see where this is beneficial to Americans having Qataris here. But again, maybe I don't know. This 4D chess, and I should trust the plan. Let me know in the comments if I'm just totally missing this junk, because I don't see it, especially with the resort villas and so on, right? Then that brings me on to September 2025. You probably didn't hear about this. Trump, sorry, I buzzed out for a minute. Trump signs a security pact with Qatar, effectively guaranteeing U.S. military protection. That is what you call NATO level coverage for a country that's not in NATO and historically is not an American ally. That means if Iran makes a move, it's not Qataris bleeding, it's your sons and daughters. Tell me how this benefits a single family in Idaho, Ohio, North Carolina, Texas. Tell me, Nebraska, because all I see is U.S. blood for foreign gold. Was this about securing U.S. interests, giving them that protection, that level of protection, or was it about protecting the resorts, the deals, and the Gulf monarchy that just bought in? Okay. Now, the biggest thing for me, and I think a lot of people that are in the know of what happens in the world, is that Qatar doesn't have a great reputation. Okay. Let's talk about their track record. They hosted Hamas leadership in Doha. They're cozy with Iran. They're accused of funding extremist groups. They use Al Jazeera as a propaganda machine. Yet this is the country that will now have a footprint in America. Again, this is not the United Kingdom. It isn't Japan. This is a monarchy with one foot in our camp and other foot in Tehran's. We can talk about the pattern here, connect the dots like a pipeline. Luxury jet, golf resort, security guarantee, and foreign facility in Idaho. Man, it matches up to me. But again, it could be 4D chess. I don't understand. I don't think that's random, man. That's what you call a freaking straight line. Qatar bought the deluxe package, a jet, golf course, an all-inclusive U.S. defense pact. You and me, guess what? We're the ones that are going to be footing the bill. I'd call this influence laundering. They can't bribe their way directly, so they buy into projects, gifts, assets, and tie up the leader's legacy with their country's survival. And if it costs anything, it costs the American people. You're looking at a security risk. Foreign forces inside U.S. soil. Look at the financial risk. Taxpayer dollars eventually cover the logistics of this. And then the strategic risk, America's now tied to Qatar's survival. Let me bring it back to the survivalist ethos, okay? This is why you don't outsource your future to politicians. It doesn't matter if they wear a red tie, a blue tie, or a schmog wrapped around their head. They all play the same game. You've got to be your own first responder, your own provider, because when the empire cuts deals, it's never your name on the contract, but it's always your blood on the line. And, you know, Americans are still struggling. I see every day. I did see that gas is supposed to come down to below $2 at some point. But I see so many people in the comments talking about how they're struggling to buy groceries. People are constantly messaging me telling they're struggling. And all I see is deals being made to benefit the elites. And elites, I mean people that are not me and you, people that are running the country. The other thing is that Donald Trump has done some very questionable things. Epstein saying it's hoax, and making deals with Pfizer, bringing Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, Peter Thiel into the mix. All these various things. Fauci has not still been brought to justice. And a lot of people are asking why. Well, I think the biggest key is that as of now, Donald Trump will not be reelected as the last term. So he doesn't need to fulfill any promises to you, truthfully. He doesn't need to get your vote. Okay. And what does all that mean? It means America crossed the line, letting a foreign military plant its flags inside our fences. And it happened not because it was strategically necessary, but because it was financially dependent. And look, I know a lot of you are ride or die for Trump, and I get it. I voted for the man 5 times. In the people always say, "How do you vote for him 5 times?" It's called primaries, dude. You should be voting in the primaries too, or maybe you shouldn't, because I don't think voting matters. But I would still vote even today over Kamala Harris. I would still go vote for Donald Trump today over Kamala Harris, because let's face it, if Kamala had won, I'd be in the gulag already. Okay, I would be in the gulag already. We'd be disarmed. They'd have me and you put in a cage, eating the crickets, listening to Taylor Swift. That is what would be going on right now. Okay. But I'm sorry, I call balls and strikes. A lot of people get upset with me because I do not say go team all the time. It's just not how I roll, man. I'm a guy who believes in the Constitution. I'm a guy who believes in freedom. And I'm a guy that believes in the Holy Bible. Okay. So when these things do not line up with my belief system, I'm going to call it out. I don't care who it is. I wouldn't care if it was my mom or daddy. I would go against if it was going against the Constitution, freedom, or my faith. And I know a lot of people aren't built like me. They want an idol, someone to worship, someone to believe that they're going to get saved. I think more now than ever, it should be evident that no one's coming to save you. And, you know, the minor things that are happening around the country that you could cheer, it could be that just Trump's not really in charge. No president's really in charge. You know, I heard the other day that presidents don't make decisions. It's actually the intelligence agencies, that they're the ones in control, the deep state, as you call them. Because if you look at the DOJ, none of the corrupt people have been removed. In the intelligence agency, none of the people have been removed. They're still there. Those deep state assets are still there. You know, if you followed RFK Jr., the things that he believes in, he speaks often about, he tries to make the moves and he gets shut down. So I think, truthfully, you can have all the greatest intention in the world, but once you get to Washington, you learn that you really can't do anything, that your hands are tied. And maybe that's the reason, you know, that the deep state is so corrupt. And essentially, it's just that the Republican Party is just a slower burn to move to the globalist agenda, because the globalists have the most money, they have the most truthful power, and essentially everyone's hands tied. So you could go into Washington with the best intentions possible, and it's not going to move the needle. Maybe on small affairs, and people cheer for, you know, the Cracker Barrel win and the Sydney Sweeney, you know, Netflix gets canceled. Oh yeah, man, Jimmy Kimmel got shut down for 2 days. Yeah, we winning. I don't know, man. I don't feel like I'm winning at all. I don't feel like anything is really making a positive move in your favor, my favor, our favor at all. But I can't get past some of these things. I can't get past some of these things like this. This isn't America first, man. I would say on the surface, this looks like business first. And once again, it's the American people who pay the price in dollars, in sovereignty, and maybe even with their lives. And unfortunately, I don't see anything going our way. It's why I always say No one is coming. Be sovereign, become sovereign. You can't outsource your freedom, your survivability to anyone else. Get your house in order, ladies and gentlemen. And I just want to say that I think darker days will come. You know, we see the uniparties in very much control. They stall out, shut out down everything, so no real legislation can happen. They put together legislation packets like this with 5,000 pages, so therefore you can't even read them to even know what's in there. And they always hide, you know, various programs in there that doesn't benefit you or I, and that's how it is. Guys, before I forget, just so you know, some people ask me, anyone who's making an order currently, you'll be getting it looks like this, but this is a temporary tattoo. Okay, skin decal. You wet it with a paper towel and put it in your skin, put it in your kid's skin, whatever. But that's what they are. A lot of people think they're stickers, but they're temporary tattoos. So just want to let you know that, guys. People order some shirts so they ain't got some, and they're like, hey, man, this sticker didn't work. It's a temporary tattoo. Just so you know, I always try to give away gifts whenever we get orders, just as a thank you. So that was the one for this month until we run out. But anyway, guys, I do appreciate you hanging out with me. Make sure you leave a comment. If this is 4D chest and I'm just an idiot, a redneck, I mean, I could be. Let me know in the comments, guys. And remember to stay frosty, stay strapped. But don't ever forget, no one's coming to save you. Not Qatar, not Trump, not DC. Only you can save yourself. Black Scout out.
2, 3. 1, 2.